Sudan affairs analyst and human rights advocate Elbashir Idris. Elbashir, thank you so much for your time. I'm really relieved to hear that you are a Sudanese. You can unpack this in a way that no one else can. So we understand this issue goes back decades. Why, from your view, as someone from Sudan, why is this taking so long to settle?
Today we are on day 731 of this war in Sudan that happened exactly 2 years ago today. And yes, you're right. Sudan has gone through decades of warfare since its inception and post-colonization in 1956. If anything, Sudan has been the country with the most amount of civil wars and the longest amounts in African history, in African modern history. Now, the reason why this war in particular is very dangerous, in fact, and very horrible, and one of the worst ones to actually occur in humanity, is because the belligerents themselves who are fighting used to be former allies, and now they've turned on each other, thus creating a massive sense of distrust within the Sudanese community and populace. We are talking about the Sudan Armed Forces, SAF, which is the country's national army. And then we are talking about the Rapid Support Forces, who were known as the Jinjaweed just 20 years ago in Darfur, as them and SAF did work together to commit genocide on the African population of West Darfur. However, times have changed, and it seems that those who were once the militia seems to have great ambitions to become the next rulers and presidents of this country, that is Hemeti or Mohammed Hamdan Daglo of the Rapid Support Forces. Now, the reason further as well is because there's so many different levels to this. May it be from religious, may it be from ethnic, may it be from social, may it be from economic and political. This war has really brought in all sides of Sudan into it, and that's what makes it even much more difficult to break off and to end this war, as not only as they're fighting in the front lines, but also between communities themselves, as ideologies are pushed to try and win each other over. But it has created more distrust. And with that more distrust, it makes it much more complicated for everybody to reach a negotiating standpoint and reach the negotiating table. But we've been here for 2 years now, and I don't believe that it's in the interests of a majority of Sudanese people to go into negotiations, especially after the horrible scenes we've seen for the past few weeks, and especially the past few days and yesterday with the Zamzam Abu Shouk IDP camps and Al-Fashir, where essentially the Rapid Support Forces entered an IDP camp that houses 500,000 to 1.2 million people, and essentially just committed horrendous and extreme attacks and violations of ethnic cleansings. In fact, I was talking to a person yesterday who just barely escaped with their lives from Zamzam camp. And he was telling me on how the RSF were going around door to door and executing people. And even those who tried to run away to a different village called Tawilia, they were intercepted by Rapid Support Forces and are also executed in cold blood, who were trying to run away from these people. So what we're seeing here is a situation that the world and the international community has purposefully, I believe, ignored for their own machinations. And it seems that the world does not want an eye on Sudan because it's profiteering off this war.
Sorry to interrupt. Speaking of the international community, Sudan is accusing the United Arab Emirates of fueling genocide. Not just turning a blind eye, but actively arming killers. If proven, how should the international community respond to a Gulf ally that's been implicated in ethnic cleansing?
Well, this is the problem now, isn't it? This Gulf ally has a lot of money, a lot of petrodollars that can easily help a lot of nations within the international community who are going through economic hardship, as the world order has changed very quickly under President Trump. And the UAE understands this, and it's willing to use its influence and money to essentially hush up many nations into not looking into the Sudan file and case. Even today, there is a conference in London that is supposed to be for the stakeholders of Sudan, yet ironically and quite hypocritically, there is no presence of the Sudanese government there. Though the allies of the Sudanese government are there, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and others, you also have the allies of the RSF who are within this conference, the UAE, but also representatives of the Rapid Support Forces in this conference. So there are many taking this conference to be another rendition of the Berlin Conference of 1885, because clearly the real stakeholders, those on the ground who have to deal with this, are not getting their voices heard or represented directly.
Elbashir Idris, really appreciate you joining us on the program. Thank you so much for your time.